So I wanted to talk about the AverMedia Live Gamer Portable 2 Plus. Now I bought this for a couple of reasons. One, to enable me to just do capturing off standard devices in 1080p, but also because of its portability function. Now I'll just open this up. One of the main reasons revolves around the fact that this is kind of ideally designed for stuff like the Nintendo Switch and also elements such as the Steam Deck. What it's also useful for, if you think of some of the other stuff that I record on a regular basis, if I'm doing something where I'm capturing steps from a boot screen or BIOS screen, this hopefully should be able to capture that, and we'll kind of put that to the test a little bit. But opening up the box, all we have inside is, it's actually a little bit bigger than I thought it was going to be, so it's quite a big device. You can see it's got various buttons on the front, which seems to indicate up and down. We'll have to find out what that does. We've also got various switches, so one is for the PC, one is for the SD card, and the final one I will confirm what that's for later. Obviously a spot for your SD card, HDMI in and out, and therefore your power. And that's all there is to it. And obviously the top button, I assume, is what kicks it into gear. Now if we look inside, we get one HDMI cable. We also get a USB cable, which is obviously going to provide us the power, and a 3.5mm audio jack. The rest of the stuff is primarily just documentation, and those QR codes there to get scanned, and an instruction book, so we can find out exactly what we receive, what we need to do. Now for me to get this to work in the portable mode, I need to do a firmware update, which I'm just going to go and do now. They don't tell you that out the box though. So let's get this show on the road. So, updating your Live Gamer Portable 2 Plus. Now, hopefully it shouldn't come as any surprise, but you plug it in, you get the wonderful lights on the front, you know it's in and working. Well, it's connected. Come over to the AverMedia website, links in the description, and just find your particular model for this one. We know what we're looking for. And you get a couple in here. Now you'll see one that says firmware, fairly obvious, and it goes, look, it's only, only really needed for these elements. I would always strongly suggest you just get on with it, because why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you want the latest firmware on here? So it says, please note that the LGP2 itself does not support VRR functionality, but update the firmware can prevent black screen. And yeah, so again, why wouldn't you do it? Particularly when it's, you're looking at Xbox Series X and S and various other bits. So let's go and get that. So that would download. Let's open that file. Let's, within those downloads, extract that. And hopefully just double click this. Device not detected. So, is this because it's on the wrong switch mode? Possibly, yes, it looks like it. So if I run it over to the other mode, let's see if that, now it's flashing blue. So the other mode, I mean far over to the left. Let's do a redetect. There we go, it's found it now. So the current version is 18.05.1620. And what is the updated version? Wow, I mean, that's quite a jump. So, yeah, definitely worth doing. It takes about, why don't they just say 2 minutes? I don't know. I click that and off we go. And hopefully, all being well, it could be like Microsoft time, so we could be sitting here a while, but hopefully it will do something. And there we are. So basically just unplug it and reconnect to continue use. Disconnected. I just disconnected this end. There's no point disconnecting the PC end because that's all the way over there. And click continue. So now if we reopen Doesn't matter. Didn't really install, did it, that program? So you can just close that. Wonderful Windows 11, and it's so we just double click on this. We can just confirm that we now have the very latest version, and all you need to do is repeat that step. So this should enable me now to connect in a SD card. So let's see what happens when I put an SD card in. Yeah, okay, I feel like we've done that. Wow, so I put a 512 in there. So that's why it can't see it. Supported formats. So there we are. So I bought this with the view of putting a 512 in there. That's not going to work now, is it? So I'm going to have to look at something a little bit smaller. Annoyingly, the other one I've got on my device is a 256. So that covers off the review of the Live Gamer Portable Plus, or 2 Plus. Doesn't really matter, does it? It does do 4K pass-through. I've confirmed that works at 60 frames per second. I've not really confirmed if it can do it any higher, which I don't think it can anyway, which is a shame if you've got a 120 hertz device to run it off, but most people would be quite happy with the 60 frames per second or the 60 hertz kind of thing. So really useful device. What I like about this in particular is the fact that you can use it in PC free mode, so you're not having to be tethered to a device. The only thing you will need is a power cable, which is USB anyway, so if you've got another means of running a USB cable, then you don't need to use a PC. So really useful from that point. I suppose use cases is really helpful for stuff like the OLED, Switch OLED, the standard Switch, Steam Deck, that kind of capture. It works really well. The only weird thing I've found is it does capture in .mov files. So that might just be as standard. It might be a setting I can change. I did have to update the firmware, which you'll see I've covered on the video. It wasn't an overly complicated process. Like I said, this device I actually purchased myself. I did used to own an Elgato HD60S. I'll be honest, I prefer this one because of that hands-free. My only downside and disappointment with it is it only supports up to 128 gigabit of microSD. If anybody finds that you can run a larger one in there, please hit comment down there, because it does say the maximum supported is that. So I'm wondering if that was a kind of compatibility thing at the time. Maybe somebody's managed to push those limits, and if so, please let me know. However, 128 gig will potentially suffice. That's what I've stuck in mind for now. I just like the fact it's a push to record, stop to record, and then it's recorded there and you can get the file off and do the transversion or conversion that you need to do. It's also got additional inputs as well if you want to use them. I'm not, because it's going to be more likely just capturing game footage or capturing me doing something on a PC, for example. It did manage to capture inside a BIOS as well, which was quite useful. I've not seen many devices do that happily, but this does. You just have to re-record. So really good. What I would like to see is, I know Elgato have done this, but to do a 4K version of this. Now, Elgato's one I can't seem to find anywhere. It's listed on their products page, but you can't buy it from anywhere that I can see at the moment. And it also is around $600, I think, at time of listing. So a really expensive device. So this will fulfill most people's needs out of the box, so to speak. So really happy with that. If you have liked this review, hit a like and subscribe, and maybe hit the bell as well. And I'll see you next time.